I'm joined here today with Tfresh, and we are playing the Lego Movie 2 licensed video game, which is a absolute gem of a video game and quite an interesting speedrun. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started because we got a bit of a cutscene here at the beginning of the run. And time starts when I confirm the save here. So in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so as I alluded to, this is the video game based off of the 2019 film, The Lego Movie 2. And it's actually pretty interesting. If you're familiar with the way most Lego games work, this one's quite a bit different. Instead of the normal structure, a bunch of levels that you play through, this one is, it's more similar to the level design of Super Mario Odyssey, which came out about a year before this game came out. And I think the design around the levels, it's pretty obvious that it draws heavy inspiration from that game. The basic structure is there's different worlds you go to. In each world, there's these purple bricks you need to collect, and after you collect a certain number of them, you can go to the end of the level, load them into this thing called a brick loader, and you can continue onward. There's also intended like story progression through each world, but in some cases we can skip that via getting to the end of the level early. So, anything to add to that, or you think we're all good to get into the game here?
Yeah, no, yeah, it is very, very similar to Odyssey. I remember when I was playing it the first time, I just was like immediately reminded of the way Odyssey is played. So,
yeah, so right off the bat, we're going to be collecting some of these bricks here. So I just picked up a yellow, an orange, and a black. And this game has a crafting system. So in order to create some of the things, we need to collect various colors. And this game also has a quest system, so we'll go ahead and start the quest. And you'll notice that we have 2 players here playing. I am on the left here, and Tfresh is on the right. That'll always be the case, though. It's a bit confusing because we're both doing... okay, that's fine. You can get it later. Because we're both going to be doing many things at the same time. Right here at the beginning, we're stuck in this little town until we beat the first couple pieces of this story, and then once we are able to get out of this town, then we can kind of do whatever we want. In order to do some quests, you need to switch characters here. In order to talk to Batman, I need to do that. And on the left here, Tfresh is going to do a piece of tech called a triple jump, which will allow him to gain a little bit of height. Basically, we have these items on the bar at the bottom, and by switching between them, right after you do a double jump slam like that, you're able to gain extra height. And right there, you'll see I just built this trampoline thing using some of the bricks that we picked up. So we have this building instruction manual, and we're able to build a bunch of things as we unlock them using the bricks we pick up. And so now that we're getting close to being able to exit this town, we're going to start collecting bricks because we are able to skip most of the story here. So there's a piece of tech where if you spam the F key on the keyboard, you can just attack during these little cutscenes, which allows you to move. I think it's because that's like the default player 2 bind for attacking, but why it works, I could not tell you. All right, so during this part here, normally we're supposed to do some story stuff over in that direction, but we don't need to do that because we can skip to the end of this world. So we're just going to try and get up to 12 bricks, which gives us the amount that we need. So Tfresh is going to drop out and drop back in. That'll teleport him to me. And we're currently at 7 bricks, so we need 5 more. And if you look at the left side of the screen here, I'm about to do a bit of a jump that saves like 15 minutes, because this allows us to skip the entire quest line. Now, that jump right there is a massive skip. And it's really simple because of that triple jumping tech, because we're able to double jump and then slam and switch items, and that gives us so much extra height. And then Yeah, since we're down 1 brick, I'll just go get this one. Fortunately, there's a couple backup bricks here.
Yeah, this is very similar to Odyssey. We're just kind of running through and collecting all the bricks, except we have 2 players.
Yeah, 2 players. Turns out when you're just trying to collect collectibles in an open world format, 2 players saves a lot of time.
Yeah.
And since we skipped the entire quest line, as soon as I finish this, the game's going to freak out for a bit. But fortunately, we can just go to the map after that and then skip most of the freaking out and advance to the next world. But during that freak out period, it actually gives us every single ability and buildable that we would have unlocked during the rest of the story, which is great because we would soft lock if that didn't happen. So that allows us to skip, like I said, 15 minutes of the story in that world, including like a giant boss fight that we otherwise would have to do. And one of the things we unlock is this vehicle here, the Ultra Kitty is what it's called. And this has some pretty interesting properties that we'll get into later, but its most notable property is that it destroys things on contact here, so you can use it to speed up destroying all these things. This is the second world of the game. I guess I haven't said that yet. It's supposed to be like a world where you build a bunch of stuff in the late game, but we have to do like a quick tutorial here to unlock some stuff before we can continue. So we'll just get through this quick. This is like a tutorial on unlocking the random stuff in the loot crate objects that this game has, because naturally every game has to have loot crates. Let me do a quick shopping trip here, and hopefully I do this correctly. Good. Okay, we got all the studs we needed. Excellent. So I just bought a bunch of bricks there so that we have what we need for the rest of the run, and we're not going to run out of bricks at any point, so we shouldn't really have any issue. And just like that, we are already done with the second world and on to World 3. All right, we're moving along here. Yeah, so these worlds are pretty fast. They're not supposed to be. Like I said, that first world, we skipped 15 minutes of content, including like a super long boss fight. We'll see. We'll see another boss fight like that in the future, because we're not able to skip the quest line in all of these worlds, but we are able to skip it in this one as well. So this is the asteroid field. This is probably one of the cooler ones, but because we're able to skip the quest line, the goal here is to just get to the end. And similarly to triple jumping, there's actually some movement tech where if you spam roll and then switch items, that is faster than walking. You want to drop in? I might whiff that. Yeah, that's okay. Get up sprinting again.
Yeah, so as you can see in this level, kind of like deploying player 2 to just go grab bricks is very broken.
Yeah, so we only need 10 bricks, and we have to get quite a ways over to where that black smoke is over there in the distance. So as a result, we have a lot of time to cross paths with random bricks, and we barely have to go out of our way at all for bricks in this one. All right. Onward here. Fortunately, this triple jumping tech is really broken. We can just go around everything and not do any of these puzzles, except for one. There is one. Turns out this giant gap to our left is something we cannot cross without activating this. So we'll go ahead and use that spamming F during the cutscene to get some movement back towards the bridge here after grabbing that brick. See where I end up. A little far off there. That's okay. All right, so that's 5. Unfortunately, there just continues being some, like right here, and there's a couple more up here. And again, this is like, this world is supposed to be like 15 minutes long or something, but we're just cruising through it. We can finish this in under 4 minutes.
Yeah.
All right.
Hopefully this works.
Yeah, so this Ultra Kitty, as I mentioned earlier, has some really interesting properties, and another one involves a really weird conservation of physics that looks like that.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Almost
Okay,
overshot it there. I was really worried that would not work very well, but excellent. First try. Yeah, so basically the way that works is when you get off of the Ultra Kitty on a slope, you get that momentum like transferred. Oh, I had one more.
Oh.
Okay. That momentum gets transferred into like vertical or horizontal momentum, and you can just shoot across gaps. It's the only place where we use it is right there, but it allows us to skip that entire world. Great. Well, that's excellent. I was really worried we were going to lose like 3 minutes on that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I think we might have had too much FPS actually.
Yeah. All right, so we're in the Old West. We don't have to worry about this very much. We're going to be here for about 35 seconds because we just need to spam through this dialogue with this ice cream man and then take a picture of him. Don't know why we have to do that. That's just what the game wants us to do. Hope you like the Old West because we're leaving. All right, on to the jungle. So far, we've played the game for 11 minutes, and we've beaten 4 worlds already.
Here's where it slows down.
Yeah, so this one takes like over 15 because we can't skip the quest line, which involves so we're going to have to do a bunch of puzzles and then also fight a giant boss. I mean, at least we get to show off the boss fights. They're kind of cool.
Well, this boss fight is the only one, I think, that's not even in the movie.
Yeah, so I've never seen this movie, and I don't think Tfresh has either, right?
No.
Yeah, so can't confirm how accurate this is to the movie.
In the game, though, Lucy does say, like, why?
Yeah, it's a different button. There you go.
I have your buttons.
Oh, well, that'll do it. Yeah, so the boss fight at the end of this is not even in the movie, apparently. But it does take up 6 minutes of the run, the 40-something minute run. So that's awesome. All right, so on the left, I'm doing the main story, and Tfresh is actually advancing to the next phase of the story, the quest line after what I'm doing, because when you have to complete the quest line, you have to do everything in order, though sometimes you can get ahead and multitask. So I'm doing the first bit, and he's just going to be waiting at the second bit. So everything that he's doing will basically route or bottleneck out a whole bunch of movement that he would otherwise have to do. So this first bit, we have to go to this door and find out that we need to interact with the moon and the sun temple for some reason. I don't really know what's going on, but that's okay. This guy was in trouble, and now he's not, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone saw, but it turns out that building things in this game, being able to just build things anywhere, is very broken. So I just built like that thing you see right there, and then just jumped over the wall.
Yeah. And we're going to use that more in the run later on as well. Oh, Lord, this man is having some problems here. Yeah. So because he's able to get over that, we don't need to wait for this interaction here to open up the door. So as soon as I interact with him, the next quest at the top of the tree will activate, and all of that movement between here and there is basically, like, the time of that isn't taken into account, because he's just able to immediately talk to the dude up there. And then, fortunately, this will teleport me up there, so I don't need to get up here either, which is excellent. And that'll get us to the next phase of this quest, which is talking to Unikitty here, who is having some trouble. But she does give us the paintbrush, which is another item that we need. And it's gonna have, there's a lot of puzzles in this world involving the paintbrush. Normally, it's like color puzzles that you do with the paintbrush. You're supposed to change the colors depending on what you're interacting with, but fortunately, there's a colorblind mode, and when you turn that on, you just don't need to do that, which doesn't necessarily save time, but it does make the game easier because it's just one less thing you have to think about.
It also only works for player 1 for some reason.
Yeah.
It doesn't work for me.
Game has no bugs in it, no glitches, flawless game. All right.
The reason why I stayed dropped in there, there's actually, the quest likes to break all the time. So
Yeah.
I have to stand there to make sure that it doesn't forget that we've already passed that point.
Yeah, you might notice there's a more than one quest checkpoint on the screen because the game is confused. I think it just happens naturally. Like, I don't even think that's breaking anything. Yeah.
We haven't even done anything yet, so I don't know what it's confused about.
Yeah, it's just...
But it is very confused right now.
Yep. Speaking of confused, we're going to make the game more confused. So there's these two temples we need to interact with, the Sun Temple and the Moon Temple. But we have access to both of them at the same time. So I'm going to start the quest line for the Moon Temple, and Tfresh is going to help me get an item I need for the second quest here. That's in that little shack he's got over there. So once he gets that, I'll be able to finish this quest. And then he'll teleport back to me. And once I finish this, I'll be on my way up to the top of the temple. Which, fortunately, I'm once again able to just spam the F key and get all the way to the top of this staircase during this cutscene. If I angled that correctly, we'll see. Yep, I did. Excellent. And while I'm doing this, Tfresh is going to head over to the next temple and start the puzzles for that. So you just saw there, I threw a bunch of paint at the box at the top of the temple, and that activated this cutscene thing. You have to do that on the second one as well, but it's within a box like that one was until you beat part of the quest line. However, you can just spam through the box and activate it without doing the quest, and as a result, we get to skip like a 2-minute dungeon thing that we otherwise would have to play, which is excellent. We love skipping dungeons. So I'm going to start this quest, and that's going to open up the dungeon, and then the quest is just already going to be done, so then I'll be able to skip it, and then the game will probably freak out a little bit after I do that. The game likes to freak out when you skip big things. We'll see if it decides to freak out. There we go. Sometimes this doesn't happen, but it pretty much always happens. So this is cutscenes that normally play when you beat the dungeon, but we didn't actually do any of that, so the game's just confused and just playing them all on top of each other. And then we get control back. And Tfresh grabbed 2 more bricks right there at the end, which gets us up to 13 out of 14, and we get...
I wonder what 14 out of 14 would be.
Oh, yeah. Surely that won't take very long, right? It will. It'll take 6 minutes, yeah. But we get 1 more when we beat the boss, which will happen once we get back to the beginning. Again, there's 4 different quest checkpoints on the screen this time because we actually did skip things, but fortunately the only one that matters is this one over here. And once we talk to this guy, we have the only cutscene, or the only second cutscene of the run. Fortunately, there's not very many in this one, where we go and enter this door, and then there's a giant chameleon monster. I guess I didn't let it unveil itself. There it is, the giant chameleon. Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, apparently this guy is not in the movie. They just, they just put him in the game.
Yeah, I guess they needed more content. So this is our only view of the boss fights in this game, which are pretty interesting because they're like these giant monsters, and you have to climb up them to defeat them, which is pretty cool, I guess. It's not very fast, but it is pretty cool. So in order to defeat the chameleon, we have to color these spiked pineapples, and then he eats them, and he chokes on them because they have spikes on them. So this is another example of colorblind mode, since normally you're supposed to color them, in this case green, to match whatever the color the chameleon is, which I guess is kind of a cool mechanic. But with colorblind mode, you don't need to do that. You just spam it with whatever color, and then he will eat it and then get angry at you.
Yeah, I don't think he likes the spiked fruit.
No, he's not happy about that. But that's all right because his targeting is not faster than I am, so he can't hit me if I just keep moving. And then once he does that, we have one more pineapple to throw at him. Like we were saying earlier, this is a pretty, it's a 6-minute boss fight, and there isn't all that much we can do to speed it up, especially during this part, other than just hitting the pineapple fast.
Yeah, it does have some cool stuff.
It's true.
What we're going to do here.
Yeah, so after these first 2 pineapples, we're able to climb up to the top because he's going to like stick out his tongue. We can use the tongue to climb up. And so Tfresh is going to do that, and I will be chilling down here in my Ultra Cat, having a grand old time, getting some studs because we need some of those for later. That's the currency in the game. You can see that at the top of the screen. We have 42,000. We need like 50K later, so I'm just going to accumulate some while I have some downtime here. And Tfresh is climbing up to the top. Fortunately, the chameleon's nice enough to give us a bunch of these hand holds to hold on to. And in order to defeat the boss, you need to shoot these 4 batteries at the top here. And they're sometimes difficult to hit. They like to just like not register attacks sometimes, so sometimes the shots don't damage. But one interesting thing about being in an Ultra Kitty, or really any vehicle, is that when in-game cutscenes start, that normally teleport you, you don't get teleported. So normally I'd be teleported up into the sky here, but because I'm on the Ultra Kitty, it doesn't do that. And because of that, I can skip a bit of a skydiving sequence. It saves a couple seconds here. So able to do that, which allows me to be on the ground faster. And then we have one more pineapple here. And then we will have another sequence of climbing up to the top. But this one's a little more interesting than the first one, if that was even possible.
This one has a skip.
It does have a skip. We like those. Those are fun and cool. All right, last pineapple here. Man, he's not learning his lesson. Just keeps trying to eat the pineapples. All right. Fortunately, or unfortunately, I guess, this is...
No one gets any motion sickness.
Oh, yeah. Apologies if that is the case. This is pretty aggressive movements. So if I drop off the tongue right about here, I can skip a... Oh, okay. That was almost bad.
That was the last possible one he could grab. So
Yeah.
if he fell from there, it would have been not good.
All right. It's fine. It's fine. We're doing fine. All right. So we have one more set of these batteries, and Tfresh is going to do the same thing that I did last time here and be set in a spot on the Ultra Kitty to not be teleported during a cutscene after this. And then after this last battery, we will defeat the chameleon. And that is the only boss fight in the game that we play. We skip the other 2 massive boss fights that are equally as long as this one, which is excellent. So that's the end of the jungle. That did take about 12 minutes, which was more time than the first 4 worlds combined, which is awesome. Fortunately, that does put us about halfway through the worlds. And yeah, you'll see that Tfresh was pretty close to the bridge there, closer than I was, because he was not teleported. All right. And now we're on to Harmony City.
Fun level.
Yeah, this is a pretty cool one. We also don't have a massive skip here. Unfortunately, the brick loader at the end of this level just isn't... Oh, that game crashed. Well, that's not great. Huh.
I didn't know it could crash.
Yeah, I didn't know it could crash there.
I didn't know it could crash, period. Oh, we can't skip any of this.
Oh, lovely. Well, we were definitely like on record pace.
We definitely were ahead of our people.
Unfortunately, when the game crashes, there's a 2-minute unskippable splash screen. So we're just going to have to watch this for a bit, unfortunately. That's unfortunate, but that's okay. Well, hopefully that's the only time that happens.
I wonder if we were on sub 40 pace. I bet we were.
Yeah, we probably were. That's okay. We should still hit estimate with that.
Yeah.
This is a pretty good run so far. Okay. So the game did definitely just save. That was like we didn't lose any progress. We just have to unfortunately watch this. No, we definitely don't. We definitely don't.
That's good.
Absolutely not. I'd be.
Unfortunate. Yeah, so you can't skip this. Every time you open the game, you just have to watch this. There's
Excellent, excellent.
not really sure what I'm watching, but
Yeah, it's like a Rube Goldberg machine or something, but I don't. TT Games. Shout out to TT Games that made this game. Great development team there. All right, almost done. And then we get to the main menu and we can continue on our way.
there we go.
I'm going to make sure I don't accidentally start a new game here instead of continuing. Yes, continue. Good.
Yeah.
Okay. This should put us into... yeah, it should. I hope so.
I don't know where it's going to put us.
Yeah, I mean, surely, right? Yeah, okay. Excellent. That's where we're supposed to be. Good.
All right.
Okay, that only lost like 2 minutes. Great. So, like we were saying earlier, this is another level that doesn't have a skip, which means most of our bricks are accounted for. There's only a couple of extra ones we're able to get because we have to play through the story. But we are able to do the thing where we do multiple pieces of the quest at the same time. So I am doing the first quest line, and Tfresh is doing the second one right after that. For whatever reason, the Justice League is just like chilling in this idyllic little town, so we have to help them with like their chores or something.
Yeah.
I think that's the plot. I don't think this is in the movie either, if I'd take just a random guess. But yeah, the Green Lantern needs his house painted, and the Cyborg needs help finding a lawnmower or something.
Yeah. This is a weird looking lawnmower, but apparently that's what it is.
Yeah. All right, so there is a potential soft lock that's completely avoidable, but we can't interact with Cyborg until the subtitles go away, and then we're fine. And just don't drop out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because last time was, wait, should I wait for it to
Yeah, and yeah, just wait for this. This level really does not like the 1P2C we're doing here with, or not with co-op, I should say. Okay.
It doesn't like when you use two players.
Good. Yeah.
I don't know why, but if we do things any differently than how we do them, the game just soft locks.
Yeah, but fortunately, we have this all figured out, and we did not soft lock, so we're good to go. All right, so we helped some of the Justice League with their chores or whatever, and now we're going to go talk to Metalbeard the pirate up here. But first, we can do some sick parkour to skip that. All right, so I'm not 100% sure what the whole gist of this part of the plot is up here, but we need to help this dude over here whose ice cream truck is on fire. Rather ironic, if you ask me. And then we have to turn off some speakers or something. I think like the speakers are blasting music that mind controls people. I think that's what's happening.
Yeah.
I believe they're like dancing because they're mind controlled or something. So we turn off the speakers, and then the alien dudes come and like try and fix it. If we're like excellent gamers, we can get both of these during the cutscene. You got it? Let's go. Let's go. Oh yeah, you got it. Let's go. All right. Cool. That actually saves quite a bit of time because that thing that Tfresh just did takes like 10 seconds. All right. So we can turn both of these off at the same time and overlap these two cutscenes as well, which saves like another 10 seconds. being able to play both halves of this at the same time, it actually speeds this up so much.
Yeah.
Oh, I am out of bounds. Okay, no, that didn't cause any problems. All right, we're gonna really quick turn in a quest, start a quest, turn in a quest, and then start a quest, all right on top of each other there. Because we did 2 quests at once and then turned them in and started them all at the end there. And now the aliens are here.
Yeah, it's faster to go complete the quest, come back, start the quest, and then like finish it.
Yeah. Fortunately, we have Metalbeard the Pirate's head as one of our items, and that is the most damaging item in the game.
That's really interesting.
I got the dude, right?
Yeah, it's on you.
All right, cool. So I gotta escort this guy over here, and then Tfresh is gonna go to the bottom of this giant sun because that's where the end of the quest line is. And yeah, you'll notice just from like naturally playing through, we've already at 14 bricks. So there's like, I got bad RNG. That's unfortunate. These guys randomly spawn in, and sometimes they'll spawn in like right at the end here, and that is unfortunate variance, but it is what it is. Once this guy starts dancing, then his quest is completed. All right. Hello.
The game likes to just like blank on your attacks all the time.
Yeah, hit detection's not excellent in this game, but that's all right. So that is the last bit of that quest line. Once this sun opens up, the top of here is where the brick loader is. And like I said earlier, we're not able to access that until we complete all of the quest line up to this point, which is why we have to. It is actually possible to get behind this sun early. There's like this really crazy Ultra Kitty launch you can do. But someone spent a ton of time looking into that like years ago and finally got it to work, and then we found out that it didn't work because the brick loader just doesn't work until you beat the quest, which is really sad. But it was kind of a really dumb trick anyway, so maybe you know, silver lining to that.
This would be a very fast world though if it worked.
Oh yeah, for sure. All right, and once we get through this green and blue wall here, we will be on our way to the second to last world of the run.
My personal favorite.
Yeah, this is definitely the coolest one, I think. All right, so this is the sorting area. It's basically like a giant junkyard for Lego objects. And normally I think this takes like 20 minutes to beat, but we're gonna do it in like 3.
Yeah.
Because they put up these giant walls around to like separate the world into different areas, but they're not very tall walls. And we have a lot of ways of gaining height, so we can just kind of go over them. Which is pretty good. So normally you're supposed to talk to this dude over here, that guy, but we don't got to do that because we have this thing that we've used in the jungle world, and it's pretty tall, so you can jump on top of it and then just jump on the wall. And Tfresh actually didn't even need this because he has a gap between some stacks of garbage that he can go to. So since we can get to the brick loader early, this really is just a matter of getting the fastest 16 bricks that we have available to us. So we're going to be doing a lot of multitasking here. But the general idea is Tfresh is going to go in a straight line towards the exit of the level because the level is kind of a giant circle. And he's going to get some bricks that are on his way. And then I'm going to go in a different direction and just get the bricks that are over here, since there's a ton of bricks over by where I am. And we're going to continuously use this totem to get over these walls and skip all of the intended quest lines here. And yeah, it's very fortunate there's so much that we have access to in this world, because there's basically like no bricks that are locked behind completion here other than the ones in the story that we don't need to do. So we're just able to speed through all this. And Unfortunately, there's also a bunch of really short quests that don't take very long. Like, I think we do 4 or 5 different quests in this one.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, I do at least 2. Yeah, I think I do 2. I think there's 4. That escort quest I just did is just like on a good path through the level anyway, so doing that loses like no time. And Tfresh is almost done. I'm a little bit slow here, so I'm gonna be a little behind.
It was pretty good for me. I didn't.
Yeah. Unfortunately, if you looked at Tfresh, I mean, you can show it off, I guess.
What?
Never mind. Yeah. Don't be slow. Don't be slow. Yeah.
yeah.
There's like just this one wall that you're supposed to do a puzzle to clear, but it just doesn't have collision. Yeah.
Oh, okay, you have one more.
Yeah, I got one more. I'm slow. Sorry.
I thought that was your last break for
Oh
something.
no. This is the last one. There you go. All right. So yeah, that was like a 20-minute world we beat in a couple minutes. Really fast stuff there. All right, and this is on to the last world here. This is called the ceremony. We're going to be interrupting a wedding ceremony here between.
Still 41.
Yeah, we can still get a 41. We can get like 1 minute off our PB, but despite the crash, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Very optimized game. All right, so into the last world. Because timing ends when we beat the quest line in this world, we can't really skip to the end or anything. We have to just kind of play through the intended storyline here, which is fine. This one's not too long. It has some pretty cool platforming skips, like you can skip a little build by triple jumping there.
It's funny how like the last level is just like by far the hardest split.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's some really cool skips in like the last room of this, but there's also some cool platforming stuff like that. Gotta make sure I don't fall here. Oh, almost fell. All right, great. And now we need to rescue Batman from these dudes. Oh, he's on me. I bet. I got him.
There we go.
All right, you go interact with Batman. And now we get a cool grappling hook, which allows us to fly through the air pretty quickly. Oh, I was not close enough. Oh, I missed. Okay, well, whatever. All right. Yeah, so being able to do that is pretty cool. It allows us to get up to certain areas that we normally won't be able to get to, like over here. And it also is pretty fast movement. You can do some pretty cool acrobatics with it. Unfortunately, we don't get this earlier because it would be pretty cool just to fly around with it. But at least we get it for the last split, unlike the jetpack, which we get after beating the game. Though the game would be a lot less interesting if we just could fly everywhere.
Yeah. With the jetpack, there's like an extra in the game that gives you like infinite flight, but if you just don't hold the jump button, you can just get infinite flight and just tap it anyway.
Yeah.
So the jetpack is very, very broken.
Yeah, you can just infinitely fly everywhere. Turns out that's very broken.
Yeah.
Who would have thought? Infinite flight. All right. What's not broken is this little mini-game puzzle here, which takes like a minute to complete. You are in the wrong menu. That's okay. All right. So there's like this little electricity puzzle we got to do to turn on the elevator that we have to do to get to the next part of this. So hope you like little electricity puzzles, because as long as I don't fall asleep, I should be able to keep this together here. All right, I did it without failing. First try, excellent.
Let's go.
I did the children's puzzle. I am very bad at those in general.
He has failed that exact puzzle before.
I had,
It
yes.
has happened.
Yep. Not today, though. Not today. All right, so now that we have the elevator, we can get to the top of here, even though we can get up there without the elevator. But if we don't do the elevator, it doesn't advance the story. So got to do the elevator. And all right, and now we have another ice cream cone man here who's freaking out about this elevator over here. And once he is done, or once we fix the elevator, he will be happy with us again. And then we can get up to the last room of the level, which is probably the coolest part of this one.
Yeah, it's also why it's so hard.
Oh.
Ooh.
Wow, that's actually really hard to land. And getting that,
really good.
yeah, getting that during the cutscene, you get to go all the way up the elevator during the cutscene. Okay, wow. That's cool. Excellent. All right. So this is the hardest part of probably the whole game. So normally during this sequence, you hit like checkpoints and then various like, oh, I did a double jump when I meant to only press once there. Anyway, after this cutscene, this cloud goes away and you're supposed to grapple it. And once that happens, various like cutscenes and interactions throughout the rest of this room happen. But if you just build something and skip that grapple, all of the rest of the cutscenes don't play, which is good because those are slow, but it also means that the normal way of getting up doesn't activate. So you have to do some trickery here to get up. So it involves a lot of vertical building and grappling. And a downside of that is that if you do that, the kill plane does not raise with you, meaning that falling means you go all the way to the bottom. So it is very punishing to mess up here, make mistakes in the grappling. So hopefully that does not happen. Okay, so, oh, I need the mouse. All right. Oh, I'm not, okay. Oh, I missed there. Okay. Oh, I missed again. All right, I'm gonna take my time on this because messing this up is bad. Oh, I keep missing. I have to grapple exactly onto this thing here.
There we go.
All right, excellent. All right, that's part one done. All right. Don't mess up these jumps, because again, that means I fall all the way to the bottom. Ooh, okay, that one's not bad to mess up, because I got something underneath me there. Just want to make sure I don't lose my sprint. Okay. One more tricky grappling point thing here, because the goal of this is to get all the way to the top of the cake here, which is what this is. All right. One more thing here. That should be good. Awesome. Let's go. Okay. All right. First tries, or mostly, I guess, first real attempts.
Yeah.
All right. And this is the last piece of the run. So once we put these two magnetic spheres into their holders and punch the heart, the run ends. So we got about 30 seconds left or so. Go ahead and lift those. And then we have to punch the heart like 10 times after it opens, and then that's the end. So coming up on time here, and time. All right,
Nice.
cool. That was probably record without the crash.
Probably was.
Probably lost over 2 minutes to that.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate, but I mean that's still a really good showing here for the live. That went pretty well, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Aside from the crash, that was pretty solid run.
Yeah, and by the way, if you don't want to be spoiled for the movie, just like don't pay attention to this cutscene because they just like narrate the end of the movie here. So, anyway.
I've beaten this game a bunch of times and I've never actually watched this ending. So I didn't even know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, but thank you for having us, and big shout out to like all the runners and people that have moved this game along, like especially Zero the Hero, Hot Rod Zod, Kapan. Those people found a lot of the stuff in this game. It's a pretty small community around this game, but it's a very cool game, and I'm glad we got the opportunity to showcase this. So thank you guys so much for having us here, and I think that's got something else. I think that's all we got.
That's all you got.
Yeah, thank you.
So, in Rex's version, Emmett crashed into a